Hi, and welcome to Fit, Fabulous, and Over 50. I'm your host, Renee Miller. The goal of this show is to teach you how to become fit in the privacy and comfort of your own home. You will learn both functional and practical exercises designed to tone your muscles and get your heart rate up, get you moving. Now listen, if you've never exercised before, you do need to consult with a physician. Otherwise, let's get started. Today's show is all about feet. That's right, you heard it. Those wonderful extensions at the end of your legs. How many of us pay attention to our feet until they're really hurting? Today, we're going to be doing functional and practical exercises designed to strengthen from the knees down all of the limbs and supporting structures that help us stay on our feet. Let's go to the muscle chart and look at the feet. Now, starting in the back of the leg and from the knees down, we are going to look at the muscles of the calf and the Achilles tendon. Calf and Achilles tendon, this is the gastrocnemius and Achilles tendon, and the Achilles tendon goes down all the way into the heels. From the side, there's very fibrous connective tissues that go down. There's a peroneus, goes down into the side of the ankle, and these are not commonly thought of as important, but they're extremely important to exercise and strengthen so that you don't roll out on your ankles. Looking at it from the front, you've got the tibialis anterior, which is the main mover when you point your toe, and then the muscles and the connective tissue that come down around the ankle joint and down into the foot. This is a very important part of your body, and especially if you're a diabetic, you better pay attention to those feet. Let's start with a warm-up. Abdominals lifted up, shoulders down, and in our ready position, breathing up. Sweep those arms up over the head, bring them back down. One more time, lift up and down. And we're just going to start with a little swinging today. Make it easy, make it light. Get a little bit of furniture out of the way to start with and just swing it. I want you to pay attention to, from the knees down, pointing the toes now, reaching those arms out to the side. Keep it moving. 4, 3, 2, let's march it out. Let's march it out. Good. You got it. Now, you're going to press your heel front. Go heel, heel. Press that toe up to the ceiling. Get that heel down. Keep going. Make sure the heel is pressing into the floor. The toe is lifted. We're going to go back to the march. Ready and march. Good. Keep it going. Toe point to the front. Now, point, point. Stretching out the ankle. Make it long. Try to relax the toes in your shoes. 4 more. 3, 2, back to the march. Good. Back to the toe point out to the side in 4, 3, 2, and toe. Swing those arms. And we're not really going to be doing a lot of upper body today, but just for a little bit of a variety, pull those arms across the chest, shoulders are down, abdominals lifted up, and pull. 2, 3, 4, 4 more, 6, 7, 8. You're going to take a deep squat here. Breathe up and down, and one more deep squat. Bring those arms up and over to your right. Point the toe, lift the heel, back to center, place the heel down, and point the opposite toe and lift the heel. And bring that body down, shoulders rolling back. And 2 more. And breathing up and down. We'll continue stretching in the chair. Okay, to continue our warm-up, seated in your chair, don't sit all the way to the back unless you really need it for your support. I want you to practice relying on your posture muscles because our posture affects our feet, all right? So sitting up nice and tall in your chair, your knees about hip distance apart, bring up one foot, and you want to start just by doing simple, what we will call flexion and extension. The proper terminology is dorsal and plantar flexion. There really is no true extension because the way the muscles are working. But whether you see it as point and flex or whether you see it as dorsal and plantar flexion, you want to really work through the mobility. All right, let's try the other one. Pointing and flexing, stretching out the leg, keep the abdominals working. Let's think about this being a whole body thing to do, okay? So often when we concentrate on one area of our body, we'll forget about everything else and the rest of it goes to pot. So let's make it work all the way up and down. Now, take the opposite leg and we're going to start by thinking of circling the foot around to the outside. Think of having a pencil point on your toe and you're going to circle as far as you possibly can. Point that toe and really stretch it. You might see it shaking a little bit and that's okay. You really want to work the muscles. Now you're going to go the opposite way. See if you can draw that circle directly over the one you just drew. Rolling to the outside. Keep the foot moving. Let's transfer and do the other one. Still sitting up nice and tall. Point and circle to the outside. That's right. You want to really feel the muscles stretching now. You should feel a little bit warmed up. You should have no problem getting that ankle to rotate. Going the other way. Really work pointing and pointing, bringing it around. You may feel a little bit of movement around the ankle that feels like it's creaking. Some of us have injuries that we're working through. Keep it moving anyway. All right, great job. Now, let's begin by doing standing squats. You can use your chair, and we'll just turn the chair around a little bit so you can see it from the side. You want to stand with your abdominals lifted up. And I say it all the time, but feet and knees line up under the hips, but the knees are the boss. So you put the knees where they go and the toes directly under them. Abdominals tight. Hold on to the chair. If you're on a slippery surface, friends, you need to get that chair somewhere where you will not fall down. You're going to sit back in the hips and allow the abdomen to lower. Just a little demi-squat and back up. All right? As you come up, you want to tighten back through the glutes, down and up. And what we're doing here is by doing this flexion on the knees, you're going to work the ankles and really stretching through the legs. Think of pushing the heels into the floor as you do this. Drive those heels down into the floor. All right, let's just do a couple more. This is just a warm-up. You've got the ankles moving. Now, first exercise, we're going to go all the way up on the toes, really press through the ball of the foot. Think about when you were a little child and you tried to walk around on your toes and back down. And as you roll up, I want you to think of going up, rolling, and down, rolling. And it's really important that you don't flatten down. Roll down through those feet. Think of every single muscle. You've got 26 muscles in those feet. Use them. Up and down. Good. Now, before I sit, I want to show you the reverse. The reverse of that is to do toe raises. And this one may be hard for you. You may want to do this seated, but you're going to do toe raises, lifting up the toes. When you do this, don't rock back with the body. Pull the toes up. Keep the knees as tall and pulled up as you can, and force this muscle in the front of the thigh, the tibialis anterior, to work for you. So you want to really point it up. From the front, it's up and down. Point up and down. See how far you can lift it without rocking backwards. Stay true. You could even do this against a wall, keeping your back straight, and that would encourage not rolling back. All right, now I'm going to show this from the chair. If you're seated in a chair because you say to me, Renee, I really have a hard time standing and doing some of these exercises, again, you want to sit with perfect posture in your chair, but you're going to go up on those toes as far as you possibly can. Now, friends, if you walk around in shoes all of the time, I suggest you do some of these exercises without your shoes. And we will be taking our shoes off later to do some of our roll downs with the can. But right now, really push through the foot. Think of going up all the way, tightening the back of the calf muscle, working those gastrocnemius muscles, and down, pointing, point through, rolling up on those toes, down and through. All right, you can continue the sequence as you're ready. We're going to move on. Now, TheraBands are an excellent tool for resistance exercises, but if you don't have a TheraBand, you can use a towel. It's no big deal. If you have a kitchen towel and you don't have a TheraBand, I want you to get it right now. And what we're going to start with is we're going to start by doing resistance with dorsal and plantar flexion. So you want to make sure that you get the TheraBand or the towel around the instep so you don't lose it. You're going to hold the leg up and pulling back as much as you possibly can. You're going to point that toe. You want to stretch those feet. You want to feel the ankle area stretching deeply in the front and then back and press that heel through, really working the heel. Think of lengthening the back of the leg. Now, it's not enough just to point and flex. Stretch the knee, pull up in the heel, and really work the muscle. Use mindfulness while you're doing this exercise. See how far you can push the band away from you. Continue pushing. And we'll just do 2 more on this side. 1 more on this side. And down. Okay, let's do the other leg. You may find, as I do, that I have one ankle that's much different than the other. I've had some very bad sprains on one foot, so that does play havoc on the ankles. And this is something that we really want to avoid by doing these exercises. And as simple as these exercises are, you can see a tremendous change in your stability and balance in your foot strength by doing these exercises 3 or 4 times a week. And we'll just do 2 more. And 1 more, and I'm really working through that foot so it is shaking, and down and relax. Okay, now let's talk about ankle sprains for a minute. How many of you have been walking down the road or down the sidewalk and you've walked and something has caused your ankle to roll out? That's the most common sprain, is an ankle roll out. The other one would be an ankle roll in. Commonly, rolling out and rolling in are actually called eversion and inversion, all right? An eversion of the ankle can produce havoc, and what it can actually do is rip you have about twice as much connective tissue as you have muscles. And if you tear this connective tissue, it may stay torn for many, many months before it heals. A great exercise to strengthen your stability, for your lateral and medial stability, is to take your TheraBand, put it on your foot, pull it the opposite direction, and then attempt to evert and invert the foot. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to push against that resistance. As you're doing that, you can really feel the muscles up into the lower calf and around the ankles working. And this is a great tool for you. As simple as it looks, this is probably one of the best exercises you can do to safeguard against more sprains or more rollouts or roll-ins. Now work on inverting. Push that foot in. Work those ankle flexors and extensors also. That's good. Let's just do 2 more. And 1 more. And we'll switch sides. Same idea, nice and strong. You want to pull away and pull that band. Work those muscles through the range of motion. If you've had some injuries, as I have, You may notice that one has a lot more ability to move. One is more lax, one is more flexible, the other one is tighter. Now going the other way, push against that resistance. And this is the one where I had sprained my ankle. And so there's not a lot of movement, but I'm going to do what I can do. And that's what I suggest you to do. And by the way, if you're watching and not doing this, no excuses. Get up and get busy. This is the easy stuff. You can do this in a chair. Let's do 4 more. And 3. 2 more. And 1 more. And take a little rest here. All right. Good job. How you feeling? You feel okay? Now, let's just reach down, grab your ankle, and see if you can stretch foot all the way out. Point that toe. This is a great stretch for the back of the leg. Really good for the Achilles tendon. Lift up, pulling, and down. And the opposite one. If you say to me, Renee, I can't reach my foot, well, then you can use your TheraBand or your towel and do the same exact thing, pulling back, lengthen through the leg, feel the stretch. If you wear high heels, you definitely have shortened Achilles and you definitely have shortened hamstrings, and you really need to stretch them out every day. All right, that's great. Now, let's see what you can do in the kitchen. It's a beautiful day, and any day is a great day to get a little exercise. Don't try to formalize it. Do it wherever you are. For instance, let's do some things right here at the breakfast table. Let's start with a good morning stretch. A good morning stretch is the kind of stretch you do when you first get up in the morning. And you're going to stretch everything, every direction. Bring those arms overhead. Take a big reach up and relax. Now, if you were worried about those glutes that you have to sit on all day in the office, let's work them before you get there. Stand at your breakfast table. Hold on to the back of your chair. Lift your legs slightly behind you and do little pulsating movements, tightening your gluteus maximus as you push your heel away from you. Good. Try to do repetitions up to about 15 on each side. Let me show you the other leg. Make sure when you do this that your weight is evenly distributed over your foot. Keep your abdominals lifted, lightly tightened, shoulders are relaxed and down, and work by pushing that heel away from you and tightening those glutes as you push it away. Great! You'll be all ready to sit in that office for a while today. Did you know that fat-free foods really aren't fat-free? Almost any food, including fruits and vegetables, have a trace amount of fat in them. So if you wanted to get rid of all the fat in your diet, you would have to, well, eat air. But do you also know that many fat-free foods that are processed have exchanged fat for the number one ingredient, and that ingredient is sugar? Yeah, that's right. And if you're a diabetic or someone that needs to watch your sugar intake, that can be a really bad thing. Think of it this way. Any fat-free food has to remove the fat and add something in its place. And it's almost always something that's equally, supposedly, not good for you. Instead, try the light version. Light salad dressing, for instance, has a great reduction in the amount of oil, but it still has a base amount of oil, and it will still provide you with a healthy amount of a balance of nutrients. So look for the light version and try that instead of the fat-free. have stairs in your house. You have a built-in cardiovascular workout. Who needs a Stairmaster? Listen, don't accumulate items to go up the stairs for hours and hours at the bottom and then wait and make one trip with your arms loaded down. Take the stairs often. The more stairs you take, the more calories you'll burn. Let's come on down and let me talk to you about the proper way to climb stairs. Now listen, the most important thing to know is when you take the stairs, you've got to use your whole self. Make those big muscles in your glutes and thighs do the work. Push off with your feet. Climb those stairs. Work those leg muscles. It's also a great workout coming down if you go slow and slowly drop to the next step. Use the quadricep, and you can even get some muscle toning and definition in those thighs out of this one. Let's show it again. Turn around. Push off. Use those muscles behind you to climb those stairs. Now, for faster working out, you can add a little bit of a run. And if you run and hop, you can get a lot more calories burned in a very short period of time. So don't wait until the end of the day to climb those stairs. Climb those stairs often and get those calories burned. Welcome back to Fit, Fabulous, and Over 50. We've been talking about feet and showing you some exercises that you can do from the knee down to pay particular attention to the connective tissue and the muscles surrounding and in the feet. But for a minute, I want to direct your attention to your shoes. Now, I mentioned before, if you are a diabetic in particular, how important your footwear is, because you only have one chance to take care of your feet. Looking at your shoes, first of all, the number one question I have to ask you is, how old are they? If your shoes are old, get rid of them. Don't keep shoes more than 6 months to a year. These shoes are excellent for doing lots of different kinds of movements. They're called cross trainers. They have a little bit wide cushioning. There's a heel counter, lots of stability. There's cushioning all up and down the middle, and you can see there's a gel at the base of the heel to help for heel striking. Also, these are very flexible. If you have a shoe that doesn't bend where your foot bends, it's the wrong shoe for you. So keep in mind proper footwear. Those stack heels, those wooden heels, they're great for fashion, but they sure aren't going to help your feet. Now, let's do a little exercise that you can do what you used to do as a child. Remember when you were a child and you liked to walk around on your toes? Let's do an exercise where we're just going to do some walking. You want to try to get up on the balls of the feet. You want to get as high as you can, working the arch, and your feet are designed to be able to support your weight. Let's walk around the chair. And you are going to really lift up through the rest of your body to support you. Let's do some circles around the cans, supporting the feet, pulling up on the knees. Now let's turn around and go the other way. And feel the muscles of the feet. Some of you are going to tell me, Renee, I'm getting cramps in my feet. But the truth of the matter is, that's an excellent exercise for you so you don't have later ankle problems. Now, you love to watch TV? You like to be sedentary? This exercise is perfect for you. Get a soup can, and we have different varieties of soup cans in different sizes. You want to match the soup can to the size of your instep, really to the size of your foot. For a smaller foot, you may want to use a soup can. For a larger foot, you may want to use a can that's a little bit bigger. You can relax now. Sitting in your chair, you're going to start at the base of the heel, and you're going to roll up through the soup can and then back down. And really what you're trying to do here, friends, is to continue to keep that arch alive. Let me show you with the other foot because I think you can see the arch better. You want to roll all the way up and back, and up and back. And this is an excellent exercise. Dancers do it all the time. They do it all day long and all night long when they're not dancing to continue to keep their arches strong and healthy. And if you're going to be interested in keeping good feet, you want to make sure that the arches stay strong. One of the biggest problems that older adults have is that as they age, their feet begin to fail them because they lose their arches. So this is a great exercise for you, and it doesn't take a lot of effort at all. All right, that's very good. Don't forget about these soup cans. That's great. All right, now, how can you take care of your feet besides just exercising them? I want to give you some little things to do for your feet. Sitting back in your chair now, let's get your foot up, heel on the chair. And I want to talk to you about some things that you can do to increase the circulation in your feet. Exercise is the most important thing. And again, I'm going to tell you, if you're a diabetic, you need to be exercising, and you definitely need to pay attention to your feet. You don't want to walk around in bare feet, diabetic, unless you've checked the floor and know there is nothing that you can break the skin with, such as a needle or a pin. But to increase the circulation in the feet, you can start by doing a little bit of ankle massaging. And as you massage, you want to massage down along the ankles, both sides. Pay particular attention to the outside. This is a very high stress area for the foot, and you're going to take your fingers and just move along the foot in little circular motions all the way up, and then start at the ankle, work down through the instep, straight across into the tarsal area, and just to the base of the toes. Don't do the toes on this one. Continue to do that all the way down. It's going to feel good, and it's going to increase the circulation. Now, another problematic area is that some people have the beginning of the bone displacement here, and what we want to do with that is we want to get those toes open and make sure those toes stay as wide open as they possibly can. And then take your hands and rub the heel underneath and feel the arches. And with the arch, to continue to support the arch, take the hand and fingers and firmly pull into the arch. And you're going to feel that. It's going to feel great. All right. Again, starting at the heel. Now, one last thought about the foot. If you have heel spurs, they're extremely painful. You may want to check out getting orthotics, but doing a lot of these foot exercises and massages can make all the difference between having painful feet or really feeling good about your feet and having happy feet. Thank you so much for joining me today on Fit, Fabulous, and Over 50, and keep on exercising.